Right, so the Premier League this season has been insane. I think we need to catch up. So, Arsenal last season, well, over the last 2 seasons, really struggling. I think of Christmas of 2020, they were in the bottom half of the Premier League. Fast forward, just under 2.5 years later, and they're top of the Premier League in April. I mean, what? Now, in my predictions, I think I predicted them to come fifth. And they're going to get top four. I think they'll lose the game against Man City. But even if Man City win their game in hand and that, they'll still be 2 points behind them with 8 games to go. And then Arsenal haven't really got the hardest running after that. Okay, Liverpool away. Again, like I said, they're not on the best of form. Chelsea at home, we'll get on to them in a bit, Chelsea. But if they bring in a better manager, then that could be tough. But I mean, even if they got top 2 the start of the season, you'll think that's absolutely mad. Next up, we've got Harry Kane to Manchester United. There's been a rumour about this. Man United, obviously, in recent years haven't been great. They've got Eric Ten Hag coming in. They're 5th in the league despite having the games in hand against Tottenham. I think he should go there. I think he'll have a much... But I don't think Man United have been great this season, apart from them winning the Carabao Cup. You know, the wheels have kind of fallen off over the last 3 games. But he's not going to do anything against Tottenham. As Antonio Conte said, there's no ambition there. They're in a horrible position. There's a lot of teams in the Premier League I'll probably rather be at than Tottenham. So I think he should go. But if he could even get like a move to somewhere like Newcastle or Man City, you've got Haaland now. But I think he should get out of Tottenham. Now next up we've got Graham Potter. He's been sacked. I know it's easy to say this now, but he was never, ever the right appointment. You sacked Thomas Tuchel, not even half a year, and he won you the Champions League. He got you to 2 cup finals last season, only lost on penalties on both times. And you've sacked him for, in my opinion, an average Premier League manager. He did really well at Brighton, but he's no better than a mid-table, maybe a Europa League team. I'm sorry, but I was so confused. If you're going to sack Tuchel, bring in Hansi Flick, someone like him. Instead, you're bringing in Graham Potter. Just felt no ambition. He's a bit like Frank Lampard, where he can't really deal with all the big players at the club. You know, also spending too much money in the transfer window. They'd be in huge trouble. It's like at the start when Todd Bowley came in, he had no clue about football. He's learning, but Graham Potter was never the right appointment, especially bringing in Cucurella. 60 million for Cucurella, who again, you know, they both did well at Brighton, him and Potter, but that's because they're a mid-table, close to Europe team. Once you get to a Champions League fighting team, the wheels completely come off, and I think that was a bit, massive risk that did not pay off from Todd Bowley. Liverpool, now this is something that I don't understand. I could completely see why Chelsea is struggling. I don't see what's happened to Liverpool. You know, sometimes, especially with the team Liverpool had, it was good to not bring in players. They didn't need it. Jurgen Klopp got this team from they're outside Europe. I think when Brendan Rodgers was sacked, he's come in, won a Premier League, FA Cup. He's won the lot, and you know they haven't made in recent years too many adjustments, and I think that's the right move. Not going out splashing the cash, a bit like what Chelsea did. But I don't see what's happened. Maybe the loss of Sadio Mane has played a huge influence. Darwin Núñez is not a title-winning striker. I think Firmino's better. They just haven't really replaced Mane. I mean, they've got Jota, who's got it in him, but is he consistently a 38 league game player, I guess you'd call him? No. You know, Cody Gakpo has done decent since he's come in, but a little bit inconsistent. He's done bits there, here and there. But, you know, I mean, to be fair, for James Milner, who's about 37 years old, the fact that he's still going fairly strong, but I think Van Dijk's getting on a bit. He's not been the same this season. Fabinho's been really poor. I think stick with Klopp, because obviously he's he's been in a bad place with Liverpool before and he's got them out. So I think give him another season. I think to sack him would be ridiculous. So I think the solution for Liverpool is try and freshen things up in the summer, bring him some, splash the cash a bit, bring in some young players who, can go for the next 5 seasons and stick with Klopp, believe in what he's doing. Next up is another madness thing you wouldn't have been saying at the start of the season. Leicester City to go down. They're 19th in the league at the moment. Just sacked Brendan Rodgers. And the fact they've still got the likes of Jamie Vardy. Now, Jamie Vardy hasn't been in the squad recently. I think he's been injured. I think that's obviously a big reason why they haven't been scoring. And a big reason why Vardy's been scoring over the years, I think, behind him, is James Maddison. In behind, he's been playing really well. And I think now that James Maddison doesn't seem to want to be there, I don't know what's happened to Ndidi. And if they lose Ndidi, which I think they will if they go down, then they'll be in big trouble. He used to be a very solid CDM, one of the best in the Prem, you could probably say. But he's been really poor. Shrewsbury Hall hasn't been the same player as last season. Wootface looks poor. And obviously I think losing Schmeichel, not replacing him. Danny Ward just hasn't been the same as him. So not replacing Kasper Schmeichel I think was big. So I think the lack of investment from Leicester I think has come back to haunt them. And if they go down, they're going to lose the likes of Maddison. Will Vardy be there? He's getting on a bit. And Ndidi will probably go. Maybe they will rebuild if they go down in the summer, but it's not looking good. It's looking like a bit of a downfall. And last but not least, Tottenham. It's like they're never going to succeed. What is going on with Daniel Levy? It's like they've had 2 world-class managers in a year and they still haven't won anything. That's how bad it is. Conte has come out and said, they haven't got a group of players who wants to play together. A few years ago, they barely made signings. Them players have got old. And now, okay, in the last couple of years, they've bought in Lucas Moura. Obviously, Son, quite a few years back was a brilliant signing. Especially for how much he cost. I don't think he cost them that much at all. But the signings like Højbjerg, Lloris is getting old. He's nowhere near as good these days. Eric Dyer is poor. Tanganga looks to be a really poor signing. And it turns out that yesterday, Lucas Moura came off the bench and got sent off. It's not like he played the full 90. He came on in the 82nd minute. 6 minutes later, yeah, I'm going for an early bath. I've had enough already. Just no bottle at Tottenham at all. And it looks like, Conte is right. And if Daniel Levy does not sort any of this out and really go into the players, rip into the players and start punishing them a bit and putting pressure, saying, look, if you don't perform, I'm going to bring in new signings to challenge for your place, then it's never going to work. It's such a bad place to be, Tottenham. It's still better than Watford, but it's a ridiculous time. What do you make of this? The Prem over the last couple of years has been mad. Potter, Chelsea are in the mud. Liverpool, I do not know what's happening. Maybe it's just a 1 year off. Maybe they'll come back next season. Leicester, the wheels are just completely fallen off. And could Harry Kane be going to Man United? Tell me what you think in the comments below. Drop a like if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. Catch you in the next one. Peace.